Welcome back to the Pumped Up podcast. Today is episode 6, and we're going to kind of move into the NBA territory, talking about the Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference Western Conference Finals, an NBA Finals preview, and a little bit of the NBA draft as well. So the Miami Heat beat the Celtics in 7. They almost choked that one pretty bad,
Almost had
but
the
it
worst
was
the worst choke since the Warriors, man.
yeah.
Or I mean, since the Thunder.
Yeah, since the
Um,
Thunder, it
but
wasn't the Warriors, guys.
the Thunder had a
It was my it
way
was
worse.
it was my team right there. I
Let's
honestly
go.
feel like the Thunder's was worse. I will say because your superstar just like didn't show up the last what 3 games.
It's different though when it's in the finals.
That
You
is
know,
true.
3-1 choke in the finals is
Yeah,
crazy.
but I mean like I feel like it just hurts it. It hurts me more because I watched every single game. I had to go through Game 6. Game 6 Clay is not real, by the way.
He's not
He's not real.
over.
But
Um, dude, Jimmy Butler's just the biggest troll of all time. He wanted them to think they had a chance. He kept saying, "Hey, but we're gonna win the next one. Hey,
I
we're gonna
think
win the next
in
one."
like last year after the game 7 last year when he missed that game winning three, he said in his press conference he was like, "We're going to be in the same position next year, and it's gonna be different." And he was in the exact same position, game 7,
It was
and
different.
it was different. I'm like he had to let them win what those next 3 games so he could be like, "Oh, we got to the same position."
As a proud, as a not even as a proud, as a Falcons fan, it makes me happy to see Boston come
Oh,
so
yeah.
close to coming back from a 3-0, being the first ever team to come down 3-0. But guess
It's
they couldn't do it.
embarrassing. It's also embarrassing because they came back down 3-0 just to get embarrassed
At home.
at home in Game 7. Like
So,
that was Jalen Brown. Eight. He had like 8
future Hawk,
turnovers.
by the way, future
Future
Hawk.
Hawk. I hope he works
He
out
did
over
just that
there.
enough to not get a super max. So he folded his super max and he's gonna get a solid deal on the Hawks.
It's
Just trust
crazy.
the process.
It's crazy to me that people were saying he was better than Shea. That was
Hey, Shea
hopefully
is just Shea's a different breed. But and then we got Western Conference Finals as well.
Nuggets embarrassed the Lakers all 4
Yep.
games.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. I mean, the Lakers, great season. You know, they started off like 2-10, and then you
Made
make
it
it
all
all
the
the way
way.
to the conference finals, just to get embarrassed by Jokic, who
Yep.
I think I think it's pretty easy to say that they're gonna. I wouldn't say embarrass the Heat. I think maybe the Heat get a game or two, and
At
like
this point, it's not even embarrassing the Heat because the Heat, like, I mean, they're the first ever playing team to make the
yeah,
finals.
which
They
is
shouldn't even
insane.
be here.
They were like what
And
3 minutes away from losing in the plan.
yeah, yeah, and there's just no. The West is just so much stronger
It's
than
so
the
much
East.
stronger because like I was thinking about it. I was thinking about this the other day. Like next year, like I don't think there's gonna be any team that wins like less than 25 games next year in the West.
Yeah,
Because I mean, like the Rockets, obviously they're still young, but they got a good head coach. They're gonna win more than 25 games. Spurs are gonna get Wembanyama, so
hey,
they're obviously gonna be better. And there's every team that was above them. I think they're just gonna stay the same. But the West is gonna be stacked for years. The East is getting better, but
no
West is
match.
just
Like
West is just the
at
powerhouse.
the Celtics and you look at the Heat, and who is gonna guard Jokic? Obviously, like no one can guard Jokic. AD was the
Yeah,
best matchup probably. He still couldn't guard him, and I mean you got Bam, and if the Celtics had won,
yeah.
I
What
think they
Cody
would have put.
Zeller? You got Bam.
I think they would have put Robert Williams on him if
I
the
think
Celtics won.
Robert Williams would do a solid job, but I
Yeah,
mean,
but I mean, Jokic is
Jokic is just
unstoppable.
he's just one of those players that like you really can't guard because like we saw it against the Lakers like he would just step back and just hit a three like chuck it up like
Yep.
that. Oops, I hit something. But like he would just chuck it up, and it's like, how do you even guard that?
Yeah,
But
it really annoys me. He's got the same European play style as Luca, to where it's like it's really annoying to watch, and it looks like it's so guardable, and then he just
he looks
drops
like
40, 10, and 10.
he
It's
looks like he plays in flip flops. Like
yeah,
he
yeah.
looks like he's like on the beach. He's playing in just like his flip flops, and he's just having fun. But it's
I'm looking at the betting odds right now, and it's Heat plus 350, Denver minus 460. So FanDuel knows.
just saw a thing on Twitter. It was like the Nuggets have like one of the highest odds to win the finals, and I'm like, yeah.
I mean, Jokic, Murray, and
You got Michael
Embiid
Never Swing the Rock Porter Jr.
with that 6 assist game against the Lakers.
That was his
That's
career high.
historic.
That was his
That's
career high, which
historic.
was that was pretty funny. Yeah, I think the Heat get at most 2 games. I don't
I think
see
they get one.
I don't see it going to 7. Um, Jimmy Butler robbed.
My official prediction, either way, I thought if the Celtics won, Nuggets in 5. If the Heat won, which they did win, then Nuggets in 5. I just
I
got
think
Nuggets in 5.
yeah, I think my prediction will be Nuggets in 5 as well. Jokic gets that ring, gets the Finals MVP. Jimmy Butler robbed. Who was it? Caleb Martin
Yep.
of the Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
It was a 5-4 vote too.
Because honestly, Jimmy Butler was not that great in against the Celtics. Their game, Caleb Martin was. I think he was a better player.
I just love how the Heat have so many undrafted players.
I know it's
that
crazy.
just actually get playing time.
And then it's like they get a huge contract and go to another team, and then they
Yep.
suck.
Yep.
That's like
Right.
I'm like that's gonna happen to like all these guys. And then you get to the NBA draft, which you got the big guy Victor Wembanyama. Not better than Chet Holmgren, but I'll save that for another day. But you got Victor Wembanyama, Scoot Henderson, all these other guys. I'm just glad the Rockets didn't win it. Didn't win the lottery.
I feel bad for the Pistons.
Yeah, they were tied for number 1 odds and just
And they got fifth.
they
right?
f- they fell all the way to 5.
That's so sad. I was watching the lottery before. I don't remember which game it was. It was one of the Western Conference Finals games.
I think it was Lakers
And
Nuggets.
yeah, it was Lakers Nuggets. I just don't remember which game in the series. But
Yeah.
it was, I was watching it with a Spurs fan, and
Really?
that was great. It was like it was a Nuggets fan, a bunch of Hawks fans, and then a Spurs fan. And every time they weren't chosen, he would just freak out. And then at the end, he like ripped his sweatshirt off, and he had made a Wembanyama Spurs jersey. So it was great. It was, big moment there. Do you think it's rigged?
I think it's rigged because they put out the NBA puts out like a video of them like drawing like all like the ping pong balls in the other room. So it's like it's not really rigged, but I think I personally had Wembanyama going to the Spurs in the first place because my picks for him were either the Spurs or the Thunder. Not biased, but I'm being dead honest, not biased, because you want him to go to a team that's where he's easily gonna be marketable and where he's easily gonna find success. And I think the Thunder were one of those teams where you pair him up with Chet and Shea. But realistically, the Spurs made more sense because they've had a history with like
Those types of players.
insanely talented big men. David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and it's going to be and also a great coach, Greg Popovich. And so it's just going to be easy for him to learn and grow as a player over in San Antonio. I just think personally it made more sense than like Houston or Detroit or any of those other places.
So that's so sad for Detroit because they're just such
Yeah.
a non-marketable team.
And then Portland, I feel like Portland kind of gets screwed with the third pick too. And just because like the reason I say that is because obviously they would get a good player but they're gonna trade it away for like a horrible package to try and like keep Dame happy, and like
Yep.
it's just not gonna work out good. But we'll see what happens with that. If the and then the Hornets will probably screw up and not take Scoot. They'll probably take Brandon Miller.
That's got to be the top three, right? It's got to
Yeah,
be.
I
It's
think the top
Wembanyama
three:
one, obviously, and then
Scoot
it's
or Brandon
Scooter,
Miller.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I think that's how that's gonna go. But then all the other, I mean, you got other great players, but I think people are saying that it's two, like a two man draft, I guess, with Wembanyama and Scoot. But eh, there's great players all around the board. I just I hope the Thunder don't screw up and take.
I mean, if you're the Heat, you'll take some undrafted guy and
Yeah, I saw a
turn him
thing
into.
about the Heat. They had a draft pick. It was Nikola Jovic. I guess that's how you say it. It's like I saw a thing is like he made the finals before graduating high school. I'm
That's
like,
stupid.
that's
Yeah, and
so
look
that's
at us out here
yeah. Look at
grinding.
us, just
We got guys in the NBA finals, and we're
yeah.
hey,
He's like I guess he's 18. I guess I think he was yeah. I guess he's 18 now. I think maybe he was 17 when he was drafted, which
that's like MLB type.
yeah.
Type
And in MLB yesterday, a 16-year-old kid made his debut in the minor leagues, and I'm like, when I was 16, I don't
And
like.
yeah,
Like I
no,
was, I mean, I was playing
16,
high
I was
school
playing
ball.
Fortnite,
Yeah,
dude.
I was playing Fortnite, and I was playing high school ball. But
Yeah, and then also the Braves just called up to the majors a guy who's 20. I know this is an NBA episode, but he was a football player, a quarterback until I think 2020 he started pitching. So he's been pitching for 3 years, and he already got pulled up to the majors. And
I feel
he's
like a
20 years
lot
old.
of, I feel like that's how a lot of major league pitchers kind
It's
of
just
come into
nuts. Yeah,
play.
no,
They
they
like,
got a crazy quarterback arm, and
they
they
were
decided
like,
to play baseball.
they either play like a different sport or they play like a different position, and then they just move into a pitcher.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I think he's in the bullpen right now, but eventually he'll get a starting spot.
Acuna for
But
MVP Acuna. I
oh,
would,
obviously,
I
dude,
would put a lot of,
Ozuna's the May MVP. I'm not even joking. He's been batting like he's
dude.
330,
Whenever they played the Marlins, I swear every time he got up to bat, he just made
in
contact,
the
and
yard.
I was like, okay, we traded you
Hey,
away
but
for nothing.
back-to-back losses to the A's though, baby.
They got walked
So
off last night.
I can't even talk.
That's
Oh my
insane.
gosh.
That's crazy.
I guess back to Heat, or just NBA in general. Who wins next year?
It's tough to say. I think I think in the East, I it's hard to say because like you really can't tell because you see what happened this year with the Heat. You got a team going from the play-in to the finals. But I think the Bucks probably win the East just because of Giannis mainly.
Yeah.
Um, and I think in the West, God, the West is probably the toughest. I would say the Nuggets again.
I think it'll be the Nuggets again, and then I think the year after that will be when the Thunder start to
So I'm saying I think next year
take
the
over.
Thunder kind of start. Next year I think the Thunder get about 45-ish wins, something in that range. 'Cause this year they won 40 games with they didn't
No
even have a
track.
center play. They had no center. You had like 6'8" Kenrich Williams playing center. You had Jalen Williams who doesn't even protect the rim. He just takes charges
Yep.
every possession. But I think the Thunder will do good. Hawks Thunder finals in a few years.
Oh yeah, for
Y'all lock it
Wait
in
till
right
we get
now.
Jalen Brown. We're not even gonna have to trade away Dejounte or Trey. It's gonna be Trey, Dejounte.
You just gotta get rid of John Collins. That's all you gotta do.
I hope we do a nice little Jalen Brown for John Collins trade.
That would honestly, I would do that if I was the Celtics. Jalen Brown, you can't.
Hey,
His.
you do you,
I
man.
saw a thing where Shannon Sharp said that the only player with a worse handle than Jalen Brown was Russell Westbrook. And I was like, okay. I mean, first of all, we're not going to disrespect the former MVP and who has one of the greatest, mixtapes ever from an NBA player. Where you just the kind of passes he had, like from like 26, the kind of like just plays from 2016 to when did he get traded 2019. You can't watch that and just say, "Oh, he has a bad handle," just because of what the past 2 years he's had. Like I feel like all like the opinions on Russ have stemmed like only from the past 2 years and not
Yep.
what he did like before. I'm like, whatever. Like I saw a stat line. It was the funniest stat line. It came up after he had that game against the Suns, game one, where he got that game-winning block on Booker, and he had like the awful shooting performance. Like I saw a stat line. It was like he had like maybe 18 points. He was shooting like 3 for 17 with like 12 rebounds and 14 assists. I'm like, you can't, even though like yeah he has games like that, you can't just like hate on him and be like, oh, he shoots the ball terribly. He's an awful player when he can impact the game in like any other way. Because in the Clippers Suns game, he was awful on offense. But you look on the defensive end, he was the best defensive player on the court.
Yeah. I think the whole NBA community in general has got to be like the most toxic sport
Yeah,
community there
it's
is.
terrible. Like you see how it is with Chet. I keep bringing up Chet, but like that's how it is with Chet. Like he gets
And
injured because of a slippery floor. Like everyone's like, oh, he can't. LeBron injured him.
Bro,
He can't even guard LeBron. He's not gonna be able to guard Giannis or Embiid. I'm like, who can? I'm
bro,
like
it's
your favorite.
LeBron.
I'm like your favorite player can't even guard him. I'm like, it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
the hate,
And
like,
then, dude, I was looking at Jalen Brown's comment section after that game 7, and it was so bad. It's just
he might have had more turnovers by himself than the entire Heat team.
he probably did.
I want to
I
look
think
that up.
every time he touched the ball, bro, he was
I
turning
think
it
no,
over.
I'm dead serious. Think every time he touched the ball, he either like bobbled it or he just dropped it. I'm gonna look that up because
Hey, but
he
once
had
again, I'm all
eight.
for that future
Yeah,
work.
the Heat had 5 as a team. Jalen Brown had 8.
That's really
He
impressive.
had more than half of the Celtics turnovers. He had 8. Celtics had 12 as a team. That's that takes talent to be that bad
Hey,
at.
one guy that really turned it around though, not really even turned it around, just turned it on for this series was Derek White. He
Dude.
was, it was actually, it was impressive.
If you
That
think about it, the Celtics
game
have a
winner.
super team. Celtics have a super team if you think
I
about it.
don't know how the Celtics lost to the Heat. I thought so.
I really
First
don't.
off, I'm like, I I didn't really watch the first 3 games, so I don't know exactly what happened because I don't know. I guess I was watching Braves games and stuff, but I really was not paying attention yet. And then they were up 3-0, and I was just confused because I hadn't really been
Because
watching.
it's like the Celtics are the is
I'm
just the
like,
winner.
yeah,
Because you think
Celtics
about
are
it,
gonna win.
here's who the Celtics have. You have All NBA first team Jason Tatum, All NBA second team Jalen Brown, perennial All Star Derek White. Derek White could be an All Star. You have Six Man of the Year, Malcolm Brogdon. You have Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart, former All Star, former Hawk, former Thunder, Al Horford. You got a Coach of the Year candidate Joe Mazzulla. You got all these things. Super team, by the way, basically. If you kind of put all those pieces together, and you're like, how are they down 3-0?
And then at that point, they won one. They won one. I'm like, okay, whatever. They'll win one. And then they won another. Oh shoot. And then they win another. I'm like, oh
Like,
my god,
okay,
the Celtics are gonna destroy them at home. There's no way. And then they just everything fell
they
apart.
went out
And
sad, dude. It
do you
was
think it's a different game if Tatum doesn't hurt his ankle the first drive?
no, because you saw how LeBron played. LeBron was playing on like ruptured tendons, and he dropped 49-9 or something. And I'm like, Tatum, if you want to be like Kobe, my guy, you gotta be able to play through that.
And okay, one thing I thought was a little funny was he didn't he wasn't like what's it gingerly walking on the ankle until they were down 20 in
Yeah.
the fourth quarter.
Did you
So
see his post game interview when he was like walking away and he was limping? It was like
And
he was like trying to
I'm
make it
sure
so obvious. I was like,
I'm
dude.
sure it was adrenaline and stuff that
Hmm.
got him going during the game, but I don't
Thing is,
know.
like,
I think it's funny.
I feel, yeah, man. I feel like whenever you have adrenaline, it's easy it's kind of easier to play through that kind of stuff. But
Those ankle twists are no joke, but still, I feel like people saying that the game would have been different if it didn't happen. I think
I
it's
don't
a
think it
little
was
far
because,
fetched.
yeah, because I mean, like I said, he was probably high on adrenaline. He was able to. I mean, I when I was watching the game, I thought he looked fine, but I don't know. I just feel like I agree. I feel like it's kind of stupid to say, oh, it would have been a different game if Tam didn't get injured.
Yeah.
No,
And
but
like I said, it didn't really seem like you noticed the injury until there's 8 minutes left in the fourth
like
quarter and they're
it's like
down
you
20
also say that, but it's like, what if Jalen Brown didn't turn the ball over,
8
eight
times.
times?
Yeah.
What if what if Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum actually played as good as they can in the first 3 games?
What if the Heat played defense at the end of game 6?
Yeah, you got all
Never
these
know.
what ifs,
Yeah.
but it doesn't do any good looking back on it when the series is over.
Yep. We move on and we get to watch the Nuggets win in 5. So it's
Yep.
exciting stuff.
Like I was like getting like whenever people were on Twitter were like, "This is gonna be the most boring finals ever." I was like, no, come on, not really. And now I'm thinking about, it, I'm like, yeah, it kind of is, just because of
I
like
yeah.
I do like that it's kind of like a refresh, kind of from like the LeBron or Curry always being on it in one side.
Yeah.
But Nuggets Heat is not really a finals that like you're gonna sit there and like be interested in.
Now, if it had been like even Sixers Heat, or I mean Sixers Nuggets, or
Yeah,
like
because that's like
Bucks
that's like
Nuggets,
Jokic. That's like Jokic and Embiid.
yeah,
Like even then, the Heat and the Nuggets have some beef. Whenever like I think Jokic pushed down, it
oh,
was
uh huh,
one of the Morse twins.
yeah,
But like even then, that was like I think like 2 years ago maybe or last year. So it's like, is that beef even still there? So it's like,
and the Celtics, or I mean the Heat just don't have any chance if they're not firing on all cylinders. Like if every single player isn't hitting,
I think yeah, I think
it's
for the
I just don't
Heat to
think they have a
win,
chance.
everyone has to
Have the
has to
best four
be
games of
has
their
they have
lives.
to be the best version of themselves that they can be.
Yeah,
Because even if Jokic is having an off game, Jamal Murray's going to be able to drop 30. Michael Porter Jr. can drop 30. Even Bruce Brown could probably drop, 20, 25.
yeah.
But
So there's our official prediction though. We got.
official
Are we
prediction,
both
I
going
think
Nuggets in 5?
I think we're both going Nuggets in 5, possibly Nuggets in 6.
Oh, one thing we didn't mention was Tyler Hero. What do you think? What do you think the Heat are gonna do about Tyler Hero?
think obviously I think it's smart to bring him back because it adds another score, but then again, he's a liability on defense.
And he's just been out of the system
He's
for a
out of the
minute
system
now.
for a while, and it's like it's hard to say because there's pros and cons to it, but I guess we'll wait and see. They said that if he was to return, it'd be around game 3.
Yeah,
So
I bet he'll return and not really be in the rotation that much, but we'll see a little bit of time. But one thing I thought was funny was, did you see Jack Harlow wearing the Celtics
yeah,
jacket and for Game 7 after making the Tyler Hero song? I
that
thought that was hilarious. Everyone started unclaiming him, but that was no, that was
Have
great.
you watched the Jack Harlow, the White Man Can't Jump
I
version
haven't.
with Jack Harlow? I haven't either. I need to watch that. That just came into my
Me too.
mind.
Yeah, no, I completely forgot.
Go ahead.
That'll be great.
Prediction for Rookie of the Year.
This is so obvious. There's like it. I mean, the media, no matter what the stat lines are, if Wembenyama has a decent season, it's him.
My prediction. Going with my guy. Going with my
I know
gut. Chet Holmgren. I think. I think if he has a somewhat close of enough stat line, to Wembanyama, and the Thunder have a better uh, record, which they will. I think Chet should win it, but Wembanyama is 100. I think he's 100% going to win it because it's like if he doesn't, it's kind of I feel like it's a disappointment.
People are saying this is the most hyped
Yeah.
recruit since LeBron.
So I'm like you
not
gotta.
recruit, but
I'm like you have to. He has to win it. And it's like people.
yeah, no. If Chet has within, even if he has like 1.5 better in each category,
I
you
think
know,
Wembanyama's gonna win
I
it.
think Wembanyama wins it.
Even like I think Chet's gonna have the better season all around. I really do because Chet has had that year of being in an NBA setting and being able to like develop and get better in that area. But I just don't see a world where Wembanyama doesn't end the season with a Rookie of the Year trophy.
Yeah, and then Scoot and Brandon Miller, they're gonna be great pieces to whatever team they're on, but just no comparison to what Chet and Wembanyama
Because
are
you've
gonna
seen
do.
like the kind of like expectations Wembanyama has had. Because like during the draft lottery, they were saying like they think he's going to be a defensive player of the year by year 3, and I'm like,
Dude,
I
and that's honestly, I think that's a ridiculous take. I don't
I
think
I can
his
like
defense is.
I get he is I think Chet's a better defender personally.
I think both of them are just
They're both good. They're both
not.
great.
I don't know if either of them are like defensive player of the year potential.
I
Personally,
think if
that could
one
be a hot take, but
if one of them wins, it's going to be Chet because coming out of high school and coming into the draft, Chet was regarded as like the best defensive prospect in his class, and Wembanyama was more of like the offensive, more all around player, more offensively focused. But I
I'm
think
gonna be stereotypical here for a second and say I think they need to hop on the roids, get a little beefier. I still think I just don't know. How has Chet gotten bigger this offseason? Because I swear you sent me one
he
picture where it's
has.
like, look at this difference, and
It
I don't think I could see a single
is
difference.
in that picture. It's his shoulders. His shoulders are
Okay.
definitely. He's got, but like people have said, people have come out and said like he gains weight and he eats, but you just like you can't. It doesn't show.
It's just rough for those big, small, like big but skinnier guys to just. I don't know how the. I mean, I don't. I just don't know how they'll
Like
compete against
it's just
certain players. But
we've seen him kind of play against this kind of competition, bigger guys, and how he's able to like set his feet and like prepare his body for someone posting up on him.
yeah,
And I mean, like he was a perfectly rated recruit for a reason.
and I would say no doubt that I think Chet has a better chance of winning it than Wembanyama though for defensive player of the year. Because watching, I don't know what the guy's name was, but I'm sure you've seen that one clip of that smaller, just like big guy, just
Was it
absolutely bodying.
Was it Jalen Duran?
I
Wait, no,
might have
Kenny Lofton. Kenneth Lofton.
I think that's who it was,
Yeah,
and he was just bodying him.
yeah.
So
But that's the
I
thing.
mean,
Like you got a guy like his size. I would hope you're able to move
yeah,
around someone that's under 200 pounds.
yeah.
You know,
So I don't know. I think both of them are just gonna be super interesting to
excited though.
watch.
I think that's going to be one of the probably the Chet versus Wembanyama is going to be one of the most like anticipated
Exactly, bro.
matchups.
That's what we need. We need some anticipated
I
match.
can guarantee that's going to be on ESPN or TNT. I if not, put it on. We'll put it on the Pumped Up YouTube channel.
Oh yeah.
I will go
Well,
to the game and I will live stream it.
and one day we'll get the Chet Holmgren interview on here. Don't even worry. We'll crop this little clip out and post it whenever we get it done.
Yeah.
But I guess that about does it
I guess that
for
about does
this
it
episode.
for episode 6 of the Pumped Up
Yep. You'll either be
podcast.
seeing this on a Wednesday or a Thursday, whatever it is. We hope you enjoyed. We got a
Either
big guest on the next episode. We already filmed that episode, so that's why we're in the exact same clothes. But we wanted to get the NBA episode out first before the finals start. So, hope you enjoyed it. feel free to check out all our links in the description. Drop a subscription, and see you in the next one.